At 4:10 a.m., steel screamed, and by dawn, 31 souls were gone. One of them was Tom Brenner, just 24 years old, a junior engineer with a quiet fascination for the sea, driven by dreams of adventure and the stories his grandfather once told him. This was his first voyage aboard the SS Marine Electric. It would also be his last. February 1983. The sea was cold, the winds brutal, but the vessel was built to endure, until it didn't. At 4:10 a.m., the Atlantic split her open. Steel screamed, lights vanished. In minutes, the ship was gone. Tom floated in black water, watching his crewmates disappear one by one. Only 3 survived that night. Tom was not one of them. This wasn't just a storm gone wrong. This was the graveyard of the Atlantic. From North Carolina to Newfoundland, this deadly corridor has claimed over 5,000 ships. Even in the age of radar, GPS, and satellites, modern vessels still fear it. What makes this place so deadly? To understand it fully, you need to see the region from the air. A vast, shifting expanse of blue and gray, where weather patterns collide without mercy. Storm cells form rapidly here, often too fast for even modern radar to anticipate. Veterans of the region often speak of a sudden stillness, a false calm that precedes chaos. Winds that drop to nothing, then roar back with tenfold fury. It's not just nature, it's an ambush. To understand the danger, you first have to understand the geography and the forces that make this ocean turn on itself. The graveyard is not one place, but a corridor of chaos, stretching across hundreds of miles where the laws of nature seem rewritten daily. The water, warm Gulf Stream meets cold Labrador Current, creating sudden fog, violent storms, rogue waves. Below, shifting sandbars, wreckage fields, hidden shoals. One area is so deadly, it's called the Devil's Triangle of the Atlantic. These waters don't warn, they take. Fishermen vanish, Coast Guard calls go unanswered. Divers find no chaos, just still ships resting like tombstones. It's not just geography, it's the unpredictability. Currents drag, visibility vanishes. In 1899, 14 ships sank in one night. Survivors said the sea rose like black glass. The graveyard has no mercy, only memory. History is soaked in loss. And it's not just warships and tankers. Entire families have disappeared aboard sailboats, private yachts, research vessels, each one lost to this graveyard. In 1962, a scientific team conducting oceanographic research vanished without a trace. Their last transmission? A fragment. We're taking on, and then silence. To this day, their instruments and logbooks have never been recovered. And not just in numbers, but in names, faces, and echoes of human effort. These weren't just ships. They were worlds unto themselves. Crews became families. Routes became rituals. Each voyage, a leap of faith. USS Cyclops, 309 men, gone. No trace. U-boats patrolled the coast. Merchant ships erupted in flames within sight of land. MV Poet, no signal, no debris, disappeared. Marine Electric, broke apart in a storm. Survivors clung to overturned lifeboats. Only 3 made it. El Faro, a modern cargo ship, caught in a hurricane. Last words, tell them we tried. All 33 lost. Even outside storms, rogue waves rise. Walls of water 60 feet high. No ship is truly safe here. But aren't today's ships stronger? That's the myth we like to believe. Modern, reinforced, digital. But out here, the ocean doesn't care about Wi-Fi or carbon fiber. She tests hulls the way time tests memory. And she's patient. They are. Reinforced hulls, GPS, survival training. But in 2009, a freighter ran aground in calm seas. A sandbar tore it open. The sea doesn't care how new your ship is. Modern captains still report anomalies. Compass drift, sudden silence on radios, untraceable echoes in sonar. In 2013, the crew of the cargo vessel Green Star reported their GPS failing just miles off Cape Hatteras, only to find themselves veering off course despite calm conditions. The ship's radar showed phantom echoes, ghosts of vessels that weren't there. It's as if the ocean itself is watching, Some mariners say it feels like the ocean is fighting back. Others believe the graveyard is a place where history repeats itself, not as a lesson, but as a warning. One of the most haunting stories came in 1997. A small fishing crew from Hatteras set off on what was supposed to be a routine 2-day trip. The weather forecast was calm, the sea smooth, and the crew, all experienced men, reported no issues. They never returned. But 2 weeks later, the boat washed up 60 miles north, intact, lights flickering, equipment undisturbed, coffee still warm in the pot. No bodies were ever found. Today, satellites monitor the region. Weather models track storm paths to the minute. Ship logs are backed up to cloud servers. Some vessels even carry automated SOS beacons, triggered the moment a hull is breached. But despite all this, the graveyard still claims ships. Not because of human error, but because some places refuse to be tamed. Sonar maps the seabed. Still, sailors check lifeboats twice, whisper prayers, call loved ones. They remember stories, like the diver who found a glove pressed against a porthole, or the survivor pulled from the water, mumbling about a wall of black. Others speak of sounds, of knocking on hulls where there should be none, or eerie echoes that bounce back through sonar like a distorted heartbeat. Sailors report vivid dreams after crossing the region, visions of ships that no longer exist, and voices calling out names they've never heard. Museums along the coast, like the graveyard of the Atlantic Museum in Hatteras, display rusted lifebuoys, frostbitten boots, and the warped brass compass from the wreck of the Carroll A. Deering. Each one a whisper from the deep. Every wreck was once a route, a job, a dream. They were part of something bigger. Wartime convoys, supply chains, exploration missions. Many carried letters, food, medicine, and some carried only hope. Some didn't even get the chance to call for help. And if you listen closely, the wreckage still whispers, she remembers. If the ocean's dark heart fascinates you, subscribe. Every week we dive into true tales from the sea, deeper, darker, deadlier. Until next time, stay afloat. And somewhere, beneath those waves, Tom Brenner still drifts, one of thousands the ocean chose not to return. But the graveyard of the Atlantic is not just a place of death. It's a living museum of forgotten ambition, innovation, and tragedy. For every wreck, there was once a launch. For every captain lost, a family waited. And for every ship, there was a reason to set sail. War, trade, discovery, or the simple need to reach another shore. This region shaped maritime laws. It forced changes in ship design. It led to stronger hulls, better lifeboats, stricter inspections. The loss of the Marine Electric, in particular, became a rallying cry that changed U.S. safety regulations forever. And yet, the graveyard still claims lives. Because no law can command the sea, no blueprint can predict chaos, and no sailor, no matter how seasoned, ever truly feels safe when the fog closes in and the compass begins to spin. So when the next ship sets sail through these waters, they carry more than cargo. They carry a legacy, a warning, a story. And if you listen to the waves, you'll hear them whisper, "Don't forget us," because the sea never forgets.